8, end of the month. What the hell was that? Sorry, a small adjustment. Let's see. I think we're good. All right. What was that, huh? What a close. What a close. That was rude. If you were long, I was long. That was rude. I got sculled on the close there. Everything looked like it was just going to chop around for a little bit. And then it did a little pop. A little pop. Microsoft went from 249 to 250 in the last minutes. And then they just dumped it right back to 249. Apple, similar, $2 dump for $1.50 dump at the end of the day. Nvidia, ever since 115 today, just slow and steady selling. $6.50, just straight, steady slaughter of the bulls. Some of this action is definitely end of the month rebalancing. Pensions, funds, ETFs, they all rebalance their books a little bit at the end of the month. February seemed to be a bigger one than usual, which is why we got that at the end. If you noticed, things were kind of all over the map today. Crude was up $1, but energy names were down a bit. SaaS names were up early, then down. Growth names were up a bunch today. Big caps were kind of even. So you saw a lot of rotation today. Let's see. And that's conducive with rebalancing. You know, they're locking in gains over here, increasing exposure over there. So we saw a lot of that going on today. And then end of the day was just a big old dump. But 'tis trading. This is run by the big boys, and we're just fleas smacking the ass of a horse. I do want to talk about a few things today. PMI came out this morning. They were expecting 45.5. It came in at 43.6. The previous one was 44.3. So things are definitely cooling down. That's the Purchasing Managers Index. It's basically just the intel on what companies are doing, what they're expecting, what they're seeing in terms of employment, inventory, all that good stuff. Anything below 50 is contraction. It means things are shrinking. Anything over 50 obviously is expansion. This thing's not been on a steady decline, I'm pretty sure, for the last year and change. Ultimately, I think a lot of this chop is coming from the fact that these numbers are also mixed. I mean, bad news should be good news in this environment if, market wants less rate hikes and wants a more accommodating Fed. But when numbers like this come out, but the Fed is still, chirping about inflation's not where they want it to be. There's rumors going around that there's going to be a 50 basis point hike next meeting. So you get these numbers where economy is clearly in contraction, but you still have a tightening Fed. So bad news is worse news. So we did dump a little bit on that, but I do think because of the whole rebalancing going on today, market fended it off per usual until the end, really. Consumer confidence came out. That one was lower, which is interesting because we did see spending go up in the last number. last week. But confidence is going down. So confidence down, PMI down. Bad news should be good news, but it's just not really. Another thing, we talked about this yesterday, about recycled headlines, and the S&P was pushing highs, and it looked like it was about to break out over, let me see, get the number here for you in a second. It looked like it wanted to get above 4,000 again. Just kind of chopping around there, and then a headline came out that said Putin suspends what's it called? First Start again, which that was a treaty between the U.S. and NATO and a bunch of Euro companies. Basically said we're going to stop building new nukes, and we get to basically inspect each other's facilities to see if you're abiding by the rules. That headline came out, immediately shoved the S&P down 10 points. The only problem is that was old news. It came out last week that he was getting out of that. Getting feedback again. So yet again, recycled headline. Does a little mini shock to the market. Then after that, kind of rallied back, but it was just too much. And we just kind of drifted lower. And then exacerbated by the rebalance, exiting the big boys. The rest is history. Aftermarket, it's not looking too good either. First Solar did beat. They raised. They're up a bit, but that has no real bearing. The S&P is just struggleville right now. It can barely uptick. I'm still stuck in the long. I got about 29 minutes to get out of it. Probably going to get out at the lows because that's how it goes. I also want to talk about FinTwit a little bit. Remember Atlas Trading? I think I talked about him in the first week on the pod, or on this stream. Atlas Trading was a group of guys who basically just had big followings on FinTwit, and then they'd pump and dump a bunch of low float stocks. I'm starting to think Andrew Luck over at Citron is one of these type of guys. Yet again, he's out today pumping Wish stock like it's no tomorrow. Fool me once, shame on... Was it fool me once, shame on you? Fool me twice, shame on me. Same thing happened today. Didn't buy it. It looked like it had like a small 2-cent pop and then immediately right back down. I don't understand why doing this is legal, but the SEC is behind the curve on a lot of stuff, and I guess pump and dumps on FinTwit isn't a priority for them. I just think it's total BS, and just like the recycled headlines, it's just it's obvious what you're doing. Maybe just stop doing it and be a real trader. I was thinking this morning, who came out? Who was it? Chanos came out and he said he was short. I was just thinking to myself, you're this high profile guy. Why are you coming out in public and saying you're short? Why would you ever tip your hat? When I was at the board trade in the trading pits, if someone knew your position and they were much bigger than you, they would literally try to take you out of your position by pushing the market away you weren't positioned for. So I think about these big boys who come out and do it. Icon never really came out and did it. One of his, someone who follows him closely kind of leaked it. So they call it the Icon puts, but he didn't come out and say, hey, I'm buying these puts. The market usually punishes people like that. So I never get it. I never get why people come out and publicly do that. Even when Bill Gates was short Tesla stock, we didn't find that out until Elon leaked it, because Elon was looking for an investment. And he's like, no, or I think Gates reached out to him to invest in whatever. I forget what venture, but he's like, well, Elon goes, well, are you still short Tesla stock? And he's short like 100,000 shares or something like that. I think he cleaned up, but again, just why are you telling people? Don't tell people your position. Just go about your day. If you are telling people about your position, it's usually not a good sign. It means you're trying to push your book, which is kind of just embarrassing. So that's that. Let's see. Tomorrow we do have a big number. ISM comes out tomorrow morning. That should be a good indicator on just how shitty or decent our economy is. It does seem like everybody's pretty bearish. We did close under the 50, which means S&P has a shot to go test the 200-day, which is another 30 lower than here, about 2940-ish. That number will change a touch, but it's about the area. A lot of these daily charts are shaping up to look disgusting. Apple looks pretty gross. Meta actually looks pretty strong. Google, pretty brutal. Microsoft is, I don't know if I've ever seen this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight days of red. Today it eked out a green day, but I mean, it's still closed below yesterday's low. Go look at that daily chart. Just the amount of selling in there is pretty outrageous. And video is actually shaping up to put in a nice day today, but then got slowly mutilated. And by the end of the day, actually now that daily chart looks like it's rough. I wouldn't want to buy that right now. But who knows what tomorrow brings. Here goes S&P down, down, down. So that's that. Tomorrow's also Tesla Investor Day. I did mention it yesterday. This stock does like to run up into it and then sell off when it starts. It looks like that. Usually when that becomes a trend or something similar becomes a trend, you know, buy the rumor, sell the news type things, a lot of times the market will kind of start front running that. It was down a little bit today. Didn't really have a shot all day, so I think market's getting ahead of that investor day a little bit. Our beloved Kathy Wood thinks there's going to be some, you know, huge breakthrough on robo-taxis because that's the only stock she's ever bought that made her money. And in true form, that's all she talks about now. Because all of our other stocks are brutal. They're all getting smoked. And it was also funny about her yesterday, came out and said the PE on NVIDIA was too high. It's too expensive up here. Go look at what she owns. Go look at everything that she owns and then tell me that NVIDIA is the most expensive one in her book. I don't get it. People like that should be on TV. That's the thing. But they are because they pay to be. Anybody on CNBC that's on, there's a reason they don't have new people on all the time. Rarely they will. They'll just recycle the same 10, 15 people. It's because those people pay to be on. It's pay to play. That's why CNBC is pretty garbage to watch. All right. I got smoked today on that trade, but the day was really good, so I did give some back, but ultimately A-okay. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to talk about Luminaire came out. They're down after hours. I think they released. Did they release already? Luminaire. Revenue of 11 mil. I'll look into that later. But they're down. This might be a good opportunity. They made some insurance deal with the Swiss today. Didn't have time to dive into that, but that just sounds weird to me. Anyways, everything option wise was elevated because they were releasing earnings today, and this thing's just had a huge run from 575 all the way up to 950 was the high. Now it's back down about 875. This could provide a good opportunity tomorrow. I do think this thing's going to move. Go look at the option chain today. It's pretty incredible. Calls, open interest in the 750 calls were 56,000. Those traded 67,000 today. The 9.5s were open interest of 52,000. They traded 37,000 today. The 11s had 40K open interest, traded 57K today. Not a lot of puts traded. Normally I'd go, that's a lot of call options. This thing's going to skyrocket. But what it looks like is everybody who's long these calls were selling them all day. Buy the rumors, sell the fact. And it was, all right, let's squeeze this thing up until earnings. And then day of, let's start monetizing our calls and let this thing fall back to a more equilibrium price. I mean, today's volume in it was huge. 38 million. Yesterday was 30, 21. 50 was that big spike day. I mean, average with no news and stuff, this thing trades, probably average around 7-8 million a day, and then it's just had this huge run. So keep an eye on that. That might provide present is the word I'm really looking for. Present a good opportunity for a trade over the next 3 days. I think that'll do for today, I think. Be careful. You never know when they're going to recycle a headline. You never know when they're going to pull the rug in the last literally 30 seconds. Protect yourself. Either always have a hedge or get ready with your finger. I'm not a big stop limit guy because I watch actively. So if I'm not watching, maybe I'll throw one in. But if I'm watching, then I'll just point and click. Just pay attention. This is real money on the line, so pay attention. I guess I haven't touched on Bitcoin in a while. Sounds like Binance was doing the same shit FTX was. Remember when whatever his name is came out and said they never used all customer funds were backed 1-to-1. Wrong. They had to put up collateral a couple times, and 1.2 I think billion had to be put up. They used customer funds to do that. And is it illegal in crypto? No, because it's not regulated. But do you want to keep your money with Binance? Do you think Binance is doing things ethically? No, they're not. They're just like every other crypto, doing whatever they want, free, loose, and easy with your money, and they get mad at you when they lose it. Just be careful, people. Just don't do anything dumb. Literally, this is the first time I ever thought, like, if you're in crypto, Bitcoin's the only way to do it. Literally the only way to do it. I haven't seen another project yet that is completely decentralized like Bitcoin is. Which leads me to believe that Bitcoin will be the last man standing. Now, at what price? I don't think 23,000, which is where it's at now, will last very long. I'm thinking more like 3,000 to 5,000. Ether's at a key 1,600 level right now. Bitcoin's looking like it's getting real toppy. Anyways, I do think if you like crypto, Be in Bitcoin. Don't be in anything else. Although, wait. Don't buy it here. All right. I think that... Oh, well, that also leads me... Sorry, that's why I brought it up, was because of Binance. And Binance just stopped allowing transfers with Silvergate Bank. What are they called? I always forget. Silvergate Capital. It's the bank we've been talking about that should be at 0, and it's still somehow hovering around 14. Today it's a little bit of a short squeeze because I think the short interest is up at like 40%. So it's harder for it to go down when everybody thinks it's going down, but then it'll have these days where it'll pop. It's actually back to even now, but at one point it was almost a full dollar higher. That and Symphony Bank, or Signature Bank, are two of the biggest frauds in the entire industry, and the fact that they're still have their doors open is just disgusting, in my opinion. Absolutely disgusting. All right, that'll do it for me. I'll leave you alone. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. ISM in the morning. Should be a market mover. And it's a new month, March. What do they call it? The Ides of March are here. So we should be getting some serious movement over the next couple of days to finish out the week. But we'll see. Don't go too heavy overnight because big moves happen overnight and then you're trapped the rest of the day. You can't do anything. All right, that'll do it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 3:15 again. Sorry I was a little late. Yeah, usually 3:30, 3:15 to 3:30 is when I try to pop on. Try to be done before 4. But that's it. All right, thanks, guys.